Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be doing a demo of Authors, which is this project here. Our objective is to create a full CRUD app with Angular, Express, Node, and MongoDB, and include backend validations. So that'll be a new little twist. Here's what we got. The edit form must be pre-populated with the existing data for the author, and we will use backend validations to ensure that all author names and quotes are at least 3 characters long. I don't see any quotes in here, so that's kind of strange. If the user does not pass validations, display an error message. Validations must be implied when editing an author. Okay? And then if we get the basic stuff done in a reasonable amount of time, maybe we can touch on these bonus features too. So let's jump into a brand new project here. I've got a new authors folder. Let's do what? What are we going to do right off the bat? npm init. Yeah. Oh yeah, make directory. That's always going to be your first one. So we go npm init -y. All right. Let's install some dependencies. What should we install? Parser, mongoose, very good. I think that's all we need, right? Okay. And then while we're waiting for that, I'll come over here and get my mongod. Godding. Okay. That's open. And then let's go back here. Maybe we're done. Cool. We installed our dependencies, checking it here. Boom. Everything's there. So let's create our folders. We'll have our server folder, and then of course we're going to have our config inside of that, and then we've got our controllers. What else do we need? Models. Alright. Cool. And then let's just create a server.js out here. Do all the regular stuff that we do. So bring in Express. Let's bring in body parser, our old friend, and then let's create an app. And we'll invoke Express, and then we'll use body parser. And what method on body parser are we going to use? JSON. Very good. Okay. And then maybe we'll just do a quick route here. app.get rec res.send hi. And then what do we have to do down here? Listen. Do our old favorite port 3000. And I think we're in pretty good shape here, right? At least to see something on the screen. So let's go node-mon server.js. Alright, we're serving. Get over here. 3000, hi, good. Okay, cool. Alright, so the next thing I'm probably going to do is we'll flesh out our API a little bit, and then we'll just test it in Postman to make sure that we can at least do the bare bones operations that we need to do. So first, let's connect our mongoose, because we do have mongod running over here, so we're good with that. So inside of our config, we got to do our mongoose file. We're going to bring in mongoose. Acquire that. Okay, and then we need to connect, right? So let's go mongoose.connect. We want to call MongoDB. This is just our connection string, and we'll say that's the local host. And we'll just call this DB authors. Let me see if I have an authors already. I don't know if I do, but real quick, show DBs. No authors. Okay, so this would be a brand new DB. That's good. Kind of wanted that. And then we'll pass the option here so we can use the new URL parser so we don't get that deprecation warning. Okay. What else do we need to require from this file? Going once. What's that? Get the model. Okay. So probably we're just going to have one. What do you think our model is going to be here? It's just going to be author. I don't see anything about books. Do you guys? Pretty, we got one thing that we're concerned with here. It's just authors. That's it. Okay, so let's pretend like we have this file already. We'll just say, so this is going to be one level up, and then it's going to be inside our models, and then we'll just call it author. All right. Notice that we're not requiring this file yet, so naturally we shouldn't have any breaking. It is restarting all the time, but we don't have any breakages yet. So back in here, if I come in and require this, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, we're going to have some kind of an issue, right? So if I go inside server, inside config, and then I go to Mongoose and require that, there we go. Excellent. So it can't find models author, so we need to build that, right? Let's go inside models, and let's create author.js. Okay. What do we need to bring in for this? Mongoose. Mongoose. Okay. And then let's create the author schema. So we'll say author schema equals new mongoose.schema. All right, and the properties that we want to have, according to this wireframe, it's just name. But we'll add an age in there as well, just for fun, because we like pain. And all right, so we'll go name, and that's going to be a type of string. And then we'll say required. And if I feed required an array, I can say that it is required, and then I can pass in a customized message for this too. So if I want to say, I don't know, you cannot, or you must provide a name. There we go. Huh? Well, eventually we have to wire it up to do that, but at least as far as like if we're just sending requests through Postman, that we'll be able to see that error if we don't provide a name. Okay, so we'll also have this age property, and we'll just say the type of that is a number, required again, true, you must supply an age, exclamation point. We'll go triple here just to show that we're mad. All right. Question?
Are there any other options like mid-length or anything like that that work on the back end of Mongoose? Oh.
Yeah, there's min-length too. Actually, I think we're supposed to use it, aren't we? Good call on that. There you go. We need min-length. Okay, so instead of required, let's just say min-length, because min-length is going to kind of take care of both of us for us, right? Min-length, and then, whoops. So the min-length would be inside here, and we'll say it's at least 3 characters long. Okay. So the other thing we want to add, as always, is we just want to include some timestamps so that we know when these things happened. Okay, what else do I need to do? Anyone? Very good, Steve. All right, we'll call it author, and then we'll just pass in the author schema. Okay, is this thing working again? Yes, we're no longer breaking because we have this author file, so that's fantastic. Let's go in and create controller, right? We'll just call this the authors controller. Dang it. .js. Okay, good. So what are we going to need to bring into the controller? The model. Yeah, so how do we get to it? Mongoose. All right. Okay, and then we're going to say const author equals mongoose.model author. Okay, now let's actually create some methods so that we can do some things. Now, presumably, we want to do all the all the usual suspects. We want to get all of the authors. We want to get a single author, and let's check the wireframe too to make sure that we don't do too much work. So we definitely want to get all authors. We definitely want to create an individual author. We want to be able to update an author, and it looks like we got to be able to delete them too. So the whole rigmarole here. So let's go in here. We're going to export what kind of thing, guys? What are we going to export? An object, correct. So our object is just going to, bless you, it's just going to have the different methods that we need. So let's just say, I don't know, we'll just call this get all. Actually, I changed my mind. We'll just call it index method. All right, rec res. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do my author.find. And then we're going to provide it this empty object to just say that we're trying to find all of our authors. And then we've got our little callback here. So we can do it in fat arrow syntax. So we can say there was either an error or we got back some authors. And I'm going to pretend like we won't get any errors, because we probably won't. I don't really need my request because it doesn't have any data in it. Right? It's just like I'm making a request to get everything. Okay, so let's pass back using res.json all of our authors. And we'll just say result is success. We don't have to do this, but just because. Whoops. Why did I do a semicolon? All right, and then let's pass back the authors. So we're pretty good there. So that's our main index method where we're just getting all the authors. Now, where do I need to use that method? What have we not touched yet? Routes. Very good. So let's create that now in our config folder. We've got to create routes. And what is routes going to export again? A function. Yes, I'm looking for explicitness. So let's go module.exports equals a function, which takes in, oh, we'll do fat arrow function just for fun. So we take in an app, and then we're going to apply some different routes to it, right? The way that we've been doing for quite some time. What else do we need to bring into this routes file? Yes, not Mongoose, right? Because author's controller already has all of the Mongoose reference that we need. So let's bring in author's controller and require that. And that is one level up inside our controller's authors. Okay. Okay, cool. So the very first route we're going to do is just going to be connected to that index route. Let's just do app.get. So if we go to API authors, let's just do the index method. All right. Cool. Now one more thing that we need to do. Is this going to work yet? Oh yeah, true. It's not this specific route, but we can get rid of it. Let me go back. Yeah, let's just dump this real quick. Okay, so what else do we need to do here? So we're inside our routes, right? Did I misspell this? Oh, I did. Jeez. Notice how, can you guys see that it's kind of light up here? Yeah, so I actually put controllers, and that's why you can tell that that variable isn't being used. So I kind of lean on VS Code sometimes just to know that, hey, something's wrong because it's saying that this is unused. So if I come down here and fix it, well, now we're good again. All right, so what else do we need to do to get this thing running right now? We're really close, right? Just to be able to get our authors. What's left? Yes, and then invoke those against what? App. Correct. So that's all we really need to do is we need to go back inside our server, and then down here, after we require Mongoose, is we'll require our routes. Oops. Okay. And then we want to invoke those against app. Yes, I am. Thank you. Very good. Okay. So we should at least have enough now that we can make a quick test through Postman and see, okay, we've got an existing route like we want. Let's go up through here, and I'm going to change this back to, oh, I don't know why it does that to me every time. I try to delete these things and it just won't let me. Okay. So authors. Cool. So we're getting what we want. We have no authors, obviously, but at least our call is working. We got a result of success. Sorry, there's something up here, but our result is down here. So we're good to go. What else do we need to create? What other methods did we want to do here? CRUD, right? Yeah, we were able to get everything here, but let's also make it so that we can create, update, and delete. And then we also need to get an individual one as well. Okay, so let's just kind of do these things one by one. So let's just create, let's do the create method because then we could start putting things in. Okay, so we want to take in rec and res. Now what do we want to do inside here? Author dot what? Create, right? And then we're just going to pass in what? What do you think? Rec.body. Yeah, assuming that we're passing everything that we need back to the server. Then we have this callback function that's either going to take an error or it's going to pass us back an individual author, the one that we just created. Okay, so let's just do something like if we had an error, let's return res.json. We'll say errors error. Oops. Okay. There's that. If we did not, then we can just res.json results success, and then we could say the author that we got there. All right. Do you have a question?
Yeah,
The reason why I'm returning in there is because I don't want to get to this next part of the code. So I want to, basically I'm making an early exit so that I don't end up trying to do another res.json with success and author. Does that make sense?
So you didn't put the as in there?
Because I didn't put what?
As.
Oh, right, correct.
That's why you
Yeah, so like that's another way that we could have done it. We could have said else, then do this.
then you
Yeah.
put the return, right?
Yeah, so if I return out of it, that means that if I get to an error, I'm never even going to get to this part of the code. Yeah.
If you did else, you wouldn't do return.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't really need to. Yeah. Okay, so so now we've got everything we need at least to create a new author. Let's try creating one in Postman. So let's change this to a post request, body, raw application JSON. Okay, cool. So let's just go JK Rowling. How old do you think she is? Oops. Name. Any guesses on her age? 60 something. Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe like 65. What? Is that old? Is that older than she is? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, whatever. Okay, fine. She's 60. You guys win.
She's 53.
50. Oh, you looked it up right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I was way off then.
She's
All right.
53 and a very self-made billionaire.
Yeah, wow. She's doing quite well for herself. All right, so let's send this. Whoa. Hey, we haven't even created that route yet, did we? Whoops. Okay, so we did create the method, but we just haven't linked it into our routes. Okay, so let's go in here. We'll have app.post, API authors, and then authors controller dot create. Okay, let's try that again. Woo, success. All right, so JK is in there. Let's try creating somebody with no age at all. See what that does for us. There we go. We got this angry message that we were looking to get. So as you can see, like once we're trying to handle these errors, we're going to have to kind of like get into this object a little bit because it's buried a little bit in some nested properties. In fact, what I might do here, see how errors is already nested inside of our errors thing? Let's see if we can make that a little bit easier to handle. So inside authors here, let's say that errors is going to be error.errors. Do you guys understand why I'm doing this? So that we can drive a little bit deeper into that object so that we don't have all that all of this stuff down here, because we really just want to see what was our message for that specific thing. So let's go send that again. So now we're just seeing errors. That's a little better to handle, right? Okay, so we know we can create, and we know that we're also blocking creation when validation is not met, so that's good. So the other thing that we want to be able to do is we want to be able to get specific authors by ID. So let's do a like a get one method. Get one. As always, we take in our request and our response, and then we're going to do an author dot find by ID. Okay, where am I going to get the ID for the author? No. This is just going to be a get request, so there won't be a rec.body. Say it again. Params, right? We're just going to have the ID in the params. So let's go rec.params.id, and then again we'll have our callback, error, and then we'll say author if no error. Let's see here. Okay, so if we got an error, presumably that author didn't exist or something like that. But let's just again pass it right back. So if we have error, we'll go return res.json, and then we'll say errors, or we'll just say error this time. Okay. If there was no error, then let's just pass it through. And we'll say author. Okay. Anything else we need to do to wire this up? Yeah, it's the thing that I forgot to do last time. So let's just go in here in routes and connect that too. So we're going to go app.get API authors ID, and that's going to be authors controller.get1. All right. So real quickly, let's get the authors that we have, and then let's try to get one. just going to go authors here. Okay, so we got this one here. Let's grab her ID, drop it on here. Cool. So we got our author. Good to go. Next thing we need to be able to do is we have to be able to update authors as well, right? Maybe let's add one more in there too, so that to make it a little more interesting. Take this off. Let's see, who's another good author that we can add? Anyone ever hear of John Steinbeck? Of course, okay. He's no longer with us, right? Okay, we'll just say that he's 100. 100. All right, so we'll do another post to authors. Create that. Success, he was created. Cool. So if we go back to our get, we'll have a couple now. So now we got both. All right. Let's work on our update as well. So inside authors, we're going to have an update method. Update recres author dot find by ID and update. This is my favorite little method. And again, where are we getting our ID from? Params. Very good. Come down here, rec.params.id. The update is going to be coming from where? Rec.body. Yes. Good. And then I'm going to pass in some options here because I like to. But the first thing that we want to do is I want to get back the new document. And I know some people have seen some issues where, like, when they make an update and they get back the document, it's like, wait a minute, this looks just like the one that I tried to update. Why is that? For some reason, it doesn't seem to do this by default. The other thing is that we have to specify to run validators. This doesn't happen by default either. So the people who were behind Mongoose, they decided that that was how the API was going to be, is that in order to run validation on an update, you had to explicitly say that. So we'll follow their rules because they're in charge. And then same thing, we've got our callback, which is going to return either an error or an updated author. Okay, so if error, let's do that again, return res.json errors, oops. I don't know, maybe we'll say error dot. I guess we could get some other kinds of errors. Like, what if we tried to update an author that didn't even exist? So maybe it won't be field validation type errors. We might also get an error where, you know, that author just simply wasn't there and you're trying to update him. So let's just kind of leave that at that. And then if not, let's res.json what we got back, result success. And I got my author. Good. Okay, cool. So again, we need to use this inside of our routes in order to make it active. So what kind of request are we going to make this? A get? Did you say put? Someone said put. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, because basically with a put request, that means that we're trying to update a resource. And that's exactly what we're doing here, is we're updating an author. So let's go app.put, and then we'll go API, authors, and then we also need that ID again. And then we're going to go authors controller.update. Great. So let's try to make an update to one of our existing records here. We've got John Steinbeck. Let's just try changing his. let's try changing his age. So if we go put his ID in there, we'll change this to a put request. And then we'll say instead of 100, he's now 60. Okay, good. So we actually got the updated document. That's what I wanted. Let's try to update him and leave his age out. See if our validators are still running. Why did that say success? Did we not get an error on that? I know. Huh. That's unusual. Did we miss something here in error? So there was no error? Huh. Oh wait, no. Find one and update, and find one without the use find and modify are deprecated. Oh. Let's see. Okay, so let's try to use this then. Use find and modify set to false. Okay, so this would be inside of our mongoose. We'd pass that as another option. False. That's weird. I think what's happening is it's actually only trying to update the name right now. It's not even bothering to update the let me just check real quick the find by ID and update, because find by ID and update. Is this the method you guys have been using, or have you been using a different one? You have? Okay. And is it still blocking your updates when you...
I've never seen that. Maybe I just find one and maybe that's...
Okay. The default value for the new option has changed to false, right? So we already handled that. Run validators. Huh. Wow, that's quite strange. And what's it saying on the version number here? Version has not changed, apparently. Updated, let me try this one more time. When is it updated? It's saying that it's updating. So it's updating the name. Like this. But not the other properties.
Maybe just type age and then leave an empty string, or just don't type anything.
That's right. Updating the whole object.
Yeah, it seems like it's applying the update on a property level as opposed to saying like I want this whole object to be this and this. So I think maybe we'll have to come back to that because I don't want to spend too much time trying to tweak that right now. But let's get to the delete method. We'll probably get into the Angular deal and then see if we can handle this this validation problem. All right, so let's. I want to set this back. We'll just say sign back. So maybe if we did, oh, what if we just pass like a, what if I just pass age with nothing in it? Would that be a problem? Okay, so the problem is I was leaving out the property entirely. But if we include it and there's nothing in it, then we're okay. And that's what's, so when we make our updates on the website, those will be empty strings, and we could bounce those back as failing validation, right? So my bad. We shouldn't take out the entire property, because otherwise then it's just going to get ignored.
Just for Postman, how Postman reads it, basically. Because if you're saying that would be an empty string, test it. If you tested it on your website.
Yeah, so like when we do it in the website, Dwight, here's what was happening here. Because I had left age off entirely, it was simply being ignored. But if I include age and I just put an empty string in there, the validations apply. So when we do it on the website, we're going to have these form inputs, right? And if somebody leaves that age blank or like takes away whatever was in there from before, we should be able to correctly validate it. Yeah, exactly. If you try to do that and that particular input was required, you're going to run into this validation.
What if they like inspected element and got rid of the div for the age input and tried to push through? They could like. It's like.
Good point. Yeah, but we could also require more. There's more that we could do on the back end. Like if we were worried that someone was actually going to be messing with the website itself, we could do something with rec.body and ensure that all those properties are in there. So if we see, okay, hey, for some reason, age was not in here, we're rejecting that completely. We're not going to allow this update to go through. All right, so that's kind of a relief to know that our validations are working as they should be. Let's go back in and create one more method. We just need to be able to delete an author by ID. Let's get in here. Whoops. So we'll say delete rec res, and then we'll go author dot find by ID and delete. And we want to pass the ID again, rec.params.id. Okay. Callback would take an error and a document apparently. I don't know what kind of document's going to be left if we deleted it, but let's just do our regular stuff. So if there's an error, then let's return res.json error. Oops. And then if not, let's just go res.json result success. All right, good to go. We've got to add it to the routes one more time like we do always.
You don't have to require the validator there. It's not ready yet.
Validator? Well, what are we validating if we're deleting a record?
If you selected it by its ID.
Well, it's going to throw an error if we don't have that particular document, right? In fact, we can try that. So you could try to delete a document that we know is not even there just with a bogus ID, and we'll see what happens. So let's go back inside of our routes and actually make this active. So what kind of request is this? Delete request. Authors. And then we're going to pass in the ID again. So we'll say authors controller dot delete. Great. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of the cool thing about routes is that there are two parts of them. There's the actual URL that we're hitting, and then there's the method. So those two things are going to have to match in order for this particular method to run. Okay, so let's try deleting one that we know doesn't even exist. So I'll just come up here and we'll say delete request, and I'll just give it a fake ID. Oh. Cast to object ID failed. I think maybe the IDs have to sort of match a certain look or something, but basically it's saying that this is essentially a bad Mongo ID. It's not right, and I've seen I think one or two people had gotten this type of error before because they were accidentally providing something as an ID that was not correct. Like something about their form was bleeding into what they were trying to pass to the back end. So we know that at least that's going to pass our errors if we're trying to delete something that's not there. Let's go, we'll do one more get request to get a record. And then I think we'll pretty much be on our way to just doing the front end stuff. So we'll do a get request to authors. We got all our authors. Let's delete JK real quick. All right. Delete. Success. And then if we go back and get authors, dang it. Why does Postman do that? All right, she's gone. So that's working correctly. We've got everything. I think the only thing that we didn't have. Wait, we've got everything, right? We're getting by ID as well. We're updating. We're deleting. Okay, good to go. All right, so the API is working. Obviously, the next thing we want to do is create an Angular app to go with it. I'll create another terminal window here. All right, and then let's just go ng new public. Wait for Angular to do its thing.
You have to say yes to the right.
Oh yes, I do. Wow, I was waiting too early. Okay. Oh, and then style sheets too. Got to do that. All right. I think because I had sort of magnified the text a little bit, I was sort of losing it down there. Okay. Cote. Whew. Sure does create a lot of files, doesn't it? All right, so let's look at the wireframe while we're waiting for it so that we keep moving forward. So we basically need how many routes here? What are you guys seeing? How many routes do we have? Just those 3, right? What were you saying? 4? 5? Oh. Okay, and it looks to me like the components are all pretty nicely done too. So we'll have exactly 1 component per route. We don't really need to like further modularize or break these down into subcomponents, at least not that I can tell. Because we've got 1 form here, 1 form here, and then just a table of things here, which is basically going to take us to some different places, to these other 2 routes. Okay, so let's see if Angular was done building. It was. And then let's go into it. So we got a cd into public, and then we'll go ng build -- watch. Okay. Now what do I need to do to get my Angular app serving? Anyone? Yeah, exactly. Well, we want to use the express.static, right? Remember that part? And then we also want to have this catch-all route, because remember this app is going to use routing, and so we want to make sure that if a person hits one of our other routes other than the root, we want that to load up right away. So let's open up our server here, and we want our app to use express.static. Oops. Okay, and then the location that we're looking for is the dir name, and then we're going to tack on our public dist public. Okay, so if it finds something in there, or if we're trying to serve some Angular files, it should be able to find it there. So let's, now that we're serving it, let's just take a look and see if we can get that. Localhost 3000. Good. So we're getting our Angular app. If I go to a different route, however, let's just call it authors or whatever, we can't get it. So anyone remember why that is? You should remember. Why does that happen? Because what it's doing is it's checking our back-end routes, and we don't have a route for /authors. So what we want to do is create this little catch-all down here at the bottom. So if all else fails and we haven't hit a route that matches yet, we'll just do app.all. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send the Angular index file so that we always get our Angular app if we're on a route that doesn't exist. Okay, so we'll say res.send file, and then we're going to find that inside our public dist public and then our index.html. Okay, I'll just underscore that because we don't really need it. Alright, let's try to reload again. Excellent. So yeah, actually notice that it did redirect us to the home route. And that's probably because we haven't yet set up any routes. So let's kind of get into that. We've got to do these 3 routes. We've got the root route, and then we've got the new route, and then we've got an individual author, which is going to be, if you can see that there, it's /edit and then /an ID. Okay. So let's close this up. We're done with that, and then we'll get back into our Angular app inside the source. Before I do anything, I'm probably just going to create these components so that we have them. So what do we want to call it? Maybe we'll call all authors or something like that for the root route. So how do I create a component? ng gc, and then we'll say all authors. Okay. Oh, I wasn't in my public folder. So let's run that again. Cool. Correct. Yeah. So let's do the same thing for these other guys. GC, so we'll say new author component. Okay, NGGC. And the other one was update author. Good. Okay, so we've got our new components. That's all very nice. Let's go inside of our routing module and actually create the routes for the app. So in our routes, rather than this empty array, let's create some routes. So the first one that we want is just going to be the, say it again? Path, yeah, no, that's correct. What do we want the path to be? Yeah, I was just going to do new for now. And then the component is going to be new author component. And look at that. Angular just magically brought it in for us. Did you guys see that? It was really quite wonderful. All right. Now let's create the other one. So then we're going to have an author by ID, right? So we'll say path is just going to be some, I believe the route they wanted us to use was edit and then /ID, right? Double check that. Yeah, so it's going to be edit /ID. So we'll do that. And then we'll bring in our component, edit. Wait, what did I call that again? Oh, update author. Update author component. Awesome, it brought it in again. And then finally, we're going to have a root route, which is just going to do what? What component do we want with that? All of them, right? Components. So we'll say all authors component. And then it brought that in for us as well. So let's just kind of like play around with the routes and make sure they're working the way that we want them to. So if I'm here on my root, you can see down here all authors works. I know that's kind of hard to see, but and then let's go to edit some ID. Update author works, so we're good there. And then the other route that we had was just the new author, right? New author works. Okay, cool. So let's just rip out this stuff that we've got in here. Inside the main app component, I've just got some boilerplate HTML that Angular provides. Let's just take it out. We do need to leave that router outlet, so I'll add that back in. Why do you guys remember why we need this? This is what's going to allow the app to show different routes based on, you know, what page we're on. So let's leave that there, and then if I refresh it, still works, but I just got rid of all that extra stuff. So let's start building out some of these pages a little bit. So favorite authors is going to be pretty straightforward. We're just going to have like a page title, a link, and then this. So let's come in here. This is going to be our all authors component. Let's change this. H1, favorite authors. What was the link for? Was it add new or something like that? Add an author. Okay, so I want to create a link, and do you guys remember how we route that there? So router link is just going to go to new, because that's where our add an author is. No, because it's not really being bound to anything. It's just we're just hard coding it. Okay, and then we got this text here. We have quotes by. Wow. So let's just do P. We have quotes by. Okay, and then we're going to have some kind of a table. So down here, I'll just go table. We've got a T head. And then there's a T row in there, and then what else is there? 2 THs times 2, and then up, right? T body. Did I go far enough? I hope. All right, so inside the T body we'll have a TR, and then we'll have 2 TDs, right? We got it? Woohoo! Isn't that cool? Yeah, some little auto-completes for us. Yeah. So let's see what we need. We just want to say author and then actions available. Come in here, author. Darn it. Get out of that. Okay, actions available. All right. Now, are we able to loop through our authors yet? Not yet. Why not? Yeah, there's more to do than that, right? What else do we have to do? We have to generate a service, right? We don't yet have our HTTP service, so let's do that. NGGS HTTP service. Yep. Okay. So as we always need to remember, if we're adding HTTP to our app, which you most likely will, we need to add it to the app.module. So inside here, let's go import HTTP client module from Angular common and then HTTP. Okay, and then we need to add that to our imports here. So HTTP client module. And then what else do we need to add? Do you guys remember? Seems like crowd size is getting seriously thin here. I hope I don't end up demoing for nobody. Like there's nobody here. You guys will stick with me, right? Some loyalty. All right. So the other thing that we need to do is we need to actually bring in the service and make it available in our providers array right here. So let's just import our HTTP service. Oops. from, and that should be, oops, the same level that we're at, and then we got HTTP service, and I'll just drop it down in here. Service. Cool. All right, so when this all authors component loads, we want to go and grab all the authors. And in order to do that, I need to bring in my service to the all authors component. So let's bring in HTTP service from, and it's coming from one level out, HTTP service. Okay, and then inside in that constructor, I'm going to inject it. HTTP service. Okay. So when this component initializes, I want to grab my authors. Okay. Now keep in mind that we haven't even written this method yet, but we'll get there. Okay. So first we're going to say authors. Any maybe. All right, and then inside ng on init, I'm gonna want to run this method. So we'll say this dot underscore HTTP dot get authors, and then we'll subscribe to that. Actually, I'll put it down here. Okay, and then we'll say response any, and then I'm going to say this dot authors equals, actually, hold up. I'm going to set that to an empty array. So that way I can loop through them in the very beginning, even if they're not available yet. So we can loop through something that's empty. That's all right. So we'll say this dot authors equals the response dot authors that we get back from the API, right? Why are we getting a red squiggly? No such method yet, right? Haven't yet written it. So let's, inside the HTTP service, we also need to bring in the HTTP client to be able to use that. Client from, oops, Angular. And then again, that's going to come from HTTP. And then we'll inject that in the constructor, as we always do. Private HTTP is HTTP client. Okay, and then we'll just create a method that will get all of our authors. So get authors doesn't take anything in, but we're just going to go return this dot underscore HTTP dot get, and then we're going to do the tasks, right? Oh, Jesus, my mind is like, we've been doing tasks all week. Thank you. All right, cool. So if we go back to the all authors component, we no longer have that red squiggly because we actually have the method that we're using now. All right. And let's just, so inside here, let's just console log something like this completed so that we know we got our authors. All right. And then at our root route, I'm going to open up the console so we can see what's going on. Just load this here. Why am I in new authors? Oh, that was weird. Yeah, so this completed. So we're getting the console log, which means that we got the response back from the API. And if I look at it here, we can see that we got some authors, right? Okay. But we weren't looping through them yet. So, like for a second there, I was thinking we didn't have any authors in our database yet, but we actually do. So we've got one thing that we can loop through. So back in the all authors component, let's just do our loop. So we do that here inside the ng4, using the ng4. And then we're going to say let author of authors. And then inside here, all we need to do is yeah, you know what? We actually have an age too. I kind of forgot about that. So let's just add that here. So we'll say age. And then one more of these. So this is just going to be the author's age. Then up here, author.name. And then we have these actions here. We'll get to those in a second. Let's just make sure that we can render this. Cool. All right, so we're going to have two actions, it looks like. We're going to have an edit one and then a delete. So our edit one is just going to route us to a different page. All right, so in here, let's create a couple buttons. That'll be edit. This will be delete. Okay, and I want to have click handlers for these guys so that when we click them, something will happen. So if I click on this, let's just do go to edit. And what do I want to pass that method, do you think? Probably the author ID. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let's just go like that. Author ID. And then we'll do the same thing for this click method, as we'll say delete author. And then we'll pass in the same thing, author._ID. Oops. Okay, boom. All right. So let's wire this up. So we need two methods. We need a go to edit, and then we need a go to edit or a delete author. Inside the component, let's create those. So go to edit is going to take in some ID. Question?
Now it's in the child component. Everything, every method is in the on init or
No, we're not inside on init. The only thing that we were doing inside on init was just getting them.
get all that.
Yeah, yeah, that was just to populate the page. But in here, what are we going to do when we click go to edit? We're actually going to navigate to a different page. Okay. So up here, let's bring in our router from Angular so that we can actually navigate once we hit that button. So we'll go router from Angular. Oops. And then that's going to be in core, right? Yeah. Whoops. Sorry, no, it's not in core. It's in router. Yeah, okay, so we need to inject this as well so that we're able to use it in our methods. So let's go private router is going to be an instance of router. And then when we click that button, let's do this dot router dot navigate. And I want to navigate to I believe it was edit, right? Edit and then plus the ID. Yeah. Okay. So let's just do that. Cool. Let's go over here and see if this works. So I loaded up my authors, and then if I click edit, excellent. So I'm getting right to that author's page. That's what I wanted. Okay. The other thing I need to be able to do is delete an author from this page. And let's see if they have any instructions for what we have to do when we delete. So if pressing the delete button removes the author from the, okay, so we're not actually going to change pages or whatever. It's literally, we're just going to take it out of the authors. Okay, so let's go create that little method that we already put on the button. Delete author is just going to take in an ID. And then we're going to do this HTTP dot, we haven't written this method yet, so we probably should write that, right? Back in the service. Okay. So let's delete an author. So we need an ID, right? And then we're going to go return this HTTP dot delete. and then we're going to go API authors plus ID. Okay, now back inside my component, I can actually reference this method because we have it now. So underscore HTTP dot delete author, and then I just want to pass in the ID. Then of course I need to subscribe to this too. Subscribe. Oops. And the response will just say whatever. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to console log because we're not. Well, okay. Eventually, we'll probably want to do something in there, but. Okay, so if I click on the delete author button, it should actually run this method for us, and then we'll just get a console log with whatever came back from our backend, right? Come in here, refresh it. Whoops, I'm in the wrong route. Okay, so there's John Steinbeck. Let's keep our console open. Delete him. We got our result, and then we're not yet handling that, but we did successfully delete him, so that's good. So what do we want to do after we've deleted the author? There's kind of like an easy way and a trickier way. You guys want the easy way? What's that? Oh, you want both ways. All right, all right. Very good. Okay, cool. So let's say I get my response back, and I'm not gonna I don't know. I'm not gonna do any error checking in this just because we're running short in time. But let's say it was successful, right? The easy way is I can just extract this get authors out into its own method. Yeah, and then just run that. So if I bring this guy down here, I can just do this on a net, this.getAuthors, like that. And then down in here, once I've successfully deleted somebody, let's this.getAuthors. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I'm going to show you guys the hard way because, again, time is just flying here. But basically what we would do is we would look through the array of authors and find the one that we wanted to pull out of it, maybe by finding its ID or its index or something like that, and then we could simply filter the array to no longer have that author in it. Why do that?
Why?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's not go through that. Let's just not go through that right now. But it is there, just so you know it can be done. I mean, the only reason you might want to do it is so that you don't make another API call to your backend. You know, if for some reason like you didn't want to have more calls, then you could do that. So I think this page is pretty much done, right? We're showing the authors. We're able to get to the edit page. We're able to delete them. The only other things we need to do are create these forms to create new authors and edit existing ones. All right. So let's get to that. Let's get to our new author form. Where did that go? New author. Okay. So inside here, let's just create a form. Actually, I'll copy their little thing. So it's like favorite authors. Oh, you know what? Did you guys notice that this title is on all 3 pages? So what can I do with that? I can put it in my app component and not have it in all these subcomponents because I don't need to. So let's just go in the app component real quick, and we'll do it above router outlet. We'll say h1 favorite authors. Okay. Now, since I no longer need that in my all authors, I'll just pull it out. Oops, that wasn't the right one. All authors, I don't want that anymore. Get that out of there. Okay. And we should still have it. Yeah, because it's in the app component now, so it's top level. Okay, so we have that. We just need a home link, and we need an add a new author thing here. So inside of our new component, let's just drop those guys in there. So we'll say A, and then I'm going to do router link, and that's just going to go home. So we'll just do / on that one. Okay. And then I think it was something like add a new author. Wait, that's what it says, right? Yeah. Add a new author. And then we need our form. Form. Okay. No action, right? We're just going to have some kind of a submit handler here. Handle submit that we'll invoke. Okay, and then we need a couple inputs. So we need, yeah. So we got label, name, and then input name is name. And then our ng model, banana in a box, is going to equal, this will be new, or we'll just say author dot name. All right, now I'm going to lazily copy that down, change this here, age. Okay, and then I'll just change this to a type of number. All right, name equals age. Okay, cool. And then we just need a submit button, and then I think we're pretty much good to go. Submit, we got name and age. However, inside the component, we haven't yet initialized this, this author. And I know some people have sort of run into this issue where it's like they're getting errors, or when they try to submit something, it's undefined because they haven't yet created this object that we're binding to. So let's make sure we do that inside the new author component. Let's just create author any, and then inside inside ng on init, let's say this dot author equals some things. So it's going to be, yeah, name is just some empty string, and then age is going to be an empty string as well. All right, good enough. So we should be able to at least go to it and not have Angular yelling at us, I think. Oh, ng model. Oh, you know what? So here's the thing. We haven't yet brought in the forms module. You guys remember that part? So yeah, we kind of ran into that little snag. We got to go back to our module and bring that guy in there. Okay. Import HTTP forms. Whoops, why am I saying HTTP? Sorry. You're right. Forms module from Angular forms. Cool. Good job. All right, forms module. So now we have it. Let's try this again. Yay, no errors. So we're correctly binding to these things, and we've got empty properties. Let's just do a, we'll test our submit action and just see if we're getting the data that's in there. No, I put it inside the app.module.ts file. This right here. Yeah, so this is like the top level thing that holds all of the, you know, the stuff that your app needs. Okay. So let's go back in here. We already have our handle submit method right here, so let's actually put that inside the component. So handle submit. And then for now, I'm just going to console log whatever this.author is, just so we can make sure we're getting it. So here, if I drop something in there, so John Steinbeck, his age 90. All right, so we're getting the data, and we can at least pass that back to our back end, right? All right. In the service, let's create a method to do this. So let's go create author. And then we're going to take in some author data, basically a name and an age. We'll just take in an author. And then I'm going to return this dot underscore http dot post. And the post is just going to go to API authors. And I'm going to pass the author object. Okay. Now inside my component, I can reference that, although I do need to bring in my service because I don't have it right now. So let's go import HTTP service from, and one level out, HTTP service. Good. Okay, and then we got to drop that in the constructor. HTTP, which is an instance of HTTP service. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to run that method. So we'll say underscore HTTP create author. And then let's pass in this dot author. What? Well, I didn't call it that, but you certainly could. Yeah, you could change that to HTTP service. Yeah. So in this case, it's just HTTP, and I'll come down here and I'll subscribe to this. So let's say, okay, response, any. I'm just going to console log it for now. Response. Okay. So let's try actually submitting something through the form, and let's see what we get. I'm going to refresh this real quick. John Steinbeck, age 90. Can't read typo and fine. Okay, so we got a success here, and we got the author that we created. So he's got name and an age, so we're all good to go, right? We actually created him. The other thing that we need to do, I think, after we create him, does it need us to go somewhere? What does it say? Redirect to the root route. Oh, okay, so we're just going to go back to the root route after successful submission. Okay, so let's just do that real quick. Inside the new author component, I need to bring in router again so that I can actually route somewhere out of here. So import router from Angular router. Yeah. Then I have to inject it again, as always. Router. Okay, so when we successfully, so let's just say if there are no errors, so if, actually let's just say if response dot has own property errors, so if it does not have own property errors, then let's navigate this dot underscore router dot navigate. We just want to navigate to the home route. That's what they want us to do. So there. All right. Okay, cool. So let's go back in here. If I refresh this, and then let's add JK back in there. She was 55, right? 55. 53? Is that what it was? Jesus. You're right. Okay. So that was pretty quick, right? It immediately navigated us, and then of course, once we got to the home route, it went and picked up all of the authors. Okay. So I think we're in pretty good shape. The only thing that we need is validations here, right? So it was saying that we have to do backend validations, ensure that we only save these things. So if we get an error, we're going to want to show that on the page so people know what's going on, right? So let's just maybe have an error object up here. Error any equals empty object. we'll start with that. And then basically what we'll do is we'll check when the errors come back, we can assign them to the different fields, because I kind of like to do that. You could certainly put them in a blob up at the top, but it's obviously a more friendly user experience to put them underneath the individual fields that they're in. So let's see, up in here. So if we got errors, so we could just have an else in here. And then let's just console log what the errors are for now. So response.errors. All right, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to try to submit this with nothing. Okay, and here's my errors object. It actually has the keys that I'm interested in. So it's got age and name. And then I've got the message in each one of those, which is nice too, that I can tap into. So let's just assign what we've got to the error object, or we'll call it errors. Change my mind. So let's just say if there are errors, let's say this dot errors equals the response dot errors. Okay, and then in my template, I'm going to just check for that. So underneath here, let's say I've got a p tag, and it's something like ng if errors dot name, or I guess I could, yeah, let's do like if it has own property name, then I want to display that error. So in here we'll just say errors.name.message. Make sense? Okay, so let's try this out.
Just say errors.if errors.name instead of has own property if you went back to, or the HTML.
Yeah, that would probably work.
Oh.
That'd probably work too. Okay, so we're good there. And then, so probably the only other thing that we want, we want to add this same thing for age, but the other thing that we can do is we can clear those out when we're doing a new form submission, right? Because it's like, okay, now I'm submitting a new author. Maybe I have all the info that I need. So on a submission, let's just submit. Let's just reset this dot errors to an empty object, just for good, good user experience. And then inside here, we'll do the same check for age. I'm just going to grab the whole thing. Oops. Okay, so if it has own property age, let's just display age.message. Okay, refresh. All right, you guys cool with that? All right, so the only other thing we need to do, we're almost there, is just create the edit component, which is going to look a lot like this. There's going to be a slight difference, which is that we need to actually get the author before we display the form. All right, let's go inside that component here. Update author. Okay. So what I need to do is I have to find out what my author's ID is. You guys kind of remember how we did that earlier? Say that again.
It's in your input tag.
It's gonna be. We have to subscribe to the router params. Remember that at all? Okay, so we have to bring in activated route, and then what else might we need? Well, we'll just bring that for now. From Angular router again. Okay. All right, and then inside the constructor, again, we've got to inject this thing. So private activated route is an instance of activated route. Oh, and then the other thing that we need is also going to be the params, because that's what the params is going to be of that type, so we can tie into that. So when on init, let's find out who this author is and get all their information, right? We'll just say author initially is null. And then on init, we want to go this dot activated route dot params, and then we're going to subscribe to those params. Subscribe, and then the params are going to be of type params. All right, so for now, let's just console log what the params are. Make sure we're getting them. Okay. Let's come over here, and then we'll actually go to one of these guys. So if I go, okay, so let's click on edit. Okay, so we got the ID that we want inside the params. That's perfect. Now we can make our HTTP call to go get that author, right? So that way when we display the form, we're going to have all their information pre-populated in there. All right, so inside the service, I'm going to have a get author method. Get author will take in an ID, and then we're going to go return this dot underscore HTTP dot get, and we'll go API authors, and then we'll add the ID there. Good. And then inside my update author, I need to import the service again. So HTTP service from, and that's out here, HTTP service. Okay. And then I have to inject that just like we're doing with all these other things. So private HTTP service. Okay, good. So let's just, once we have those params, let's do get, oops, this dot underscore HTTP, and then we're going to go get author, and we're going to pass in params.id. Then we have to subscribe to that too. Okay, so that's going to be another response, and then I'm just going to console log it for now. Console.log response. All right. Let's hit that real quick. Cool. We actually got our author, which is what we wanted. So now we have to do something with it. We have to assign it to this author that we've got up here. So we'll say this dot author equals response dot author. Okay. And then now we can actually create the form, and basically we'll only render the form if we have the author at that point. So we'll just do a little ngIf in there because we don't want to render the form with blank inputs or whatever. That wouldn't make any sense. We're trying to update somebody, right? So let's go in here. And what's this page supposed to look like? Home, edit this author, okay. Real quick, a router link equals / p tag edit this author, and then I'm just going to grab my form stuff from the other one because I don't really want to redo that. Okay, grab the whole thing. Okay, inside here, let's pop that in there. All right, and then let's just, to make this only show once I've got my author back, let's just do a quick check. So ngIf, and then we'll say, oops, equals if author not equal null. All right. I don't have any my errors yet, so let me create that real quick. That was just an empty object. Okay. Actually, I probably don't need that any. All right, let's see if we can render this. Awesome. So we've got our pre-populated information. Well, here's what happened. So I bound it to author, and then in so like if I had done it under a different variable or property name, then I might have had to change things around. But you'll remember in my form, I was just using this author.age, same thing. So I kind of kept it consistent that way. I didn't need to like reinvent the wheel. Okay. So let's just, the only thing we really need to do is just handle the submit on this. Handle submit. And again, that doesn't take anything in, but we're going to go to our HTTP service, which we already have, so that's good. So let's go HTTP, and then we're going to do update author, which we haven't written yet. So the update author, let's just take in an ID. And then, or we're going to pass it an ID. And where are we going to get that ID? No. It's going to be from this author right here. I mean, it was, now don't get me wrong, it was available in the parameters, but remember I had to subscribe to get it. So if I were to keep track of that separately up here, I could reference it. So I mean, that's another way of handling it. I was just thinking like, now that we're only showing the form if we have the author back. So let's just grab it from the author object, right? This dot author dot underscore ID. And then the things that what we're going to pass to it is just going to be a new object that has a name, and then it's going to be this dot author dot name age, this dot author dot age.
Can you also say that body?
No, we don't have any request here. Send the whole object?
Yeah.
We don't really want to send the ID with it though. That's the only reason I'm not doing that.
Sending the two parameter, one is the ID, one is the whole thing.
Yeah, the problem is if we send, like what you're talking about, if we send the ID, then Mongoose is going to complain about that and say you're trying to create a duplicate entry in your database. Because the ID is the same as something that's already in there, but we're just updating. We're not trying to create a new one. Have you guys seen that error before? I've definitely seen some of you getting it. Maybe.
Or like find one and update, and then use $set. Is that?
Maybe that's another. Yeah, I mean that's another way to handle it. Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously this is fine. And, yeah, just wondering if you have like 20 inputs.
Yeah, there are certainly some other ways of handling it. With new versions of JavaScript, you can use what's called destructuring. And maybe next week, if we have some extra time, we could talk about destructuring a little bit. But I don't know. Let's just keep it simple and do it this way so that we get it going. So we're going to update the author, and then we're going to subscribe to that. Response. And then what do they want us to do? Go somewhere? Go to the home route or something? Pre-populate, continue. Oh, it doesn't really say. Yeah, let's just do that because I think it would be kind of silly to not do anything at all. Okay, let's do that. All right, so after this is done, let's assume that the well, actually, no, we can't assume. So if response has errors, oh shoot, okay. was just thinking about something else. So if it has own property errors, then what we want to do is we want to set those errors.
You did one credit.
I did?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so if it has that property, then let's just say this dot errors equals response dot errors. Oops. This is not going to work as is because I was thinking there's some other issue in there. Else, what we want to do is we want to just go back to the home page. What? Yeah, let's do navigate. So up here, we can also bring in router as well so that we have access to that. And then router, oops, private router. Okay, so if it works, let's just do this dot underscore router dot navigate to home route. Okay, let's try that out, and then we'll briefly try out the validation. Okay, so if I want to change his age to that, oh, you know what? Did we create that in the service? We did, right? No, we didn't. Dang it. So like, there's so much stuff to do, right?
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Pain in the butt.
you need more than 5 hours.
Yeah, seriously. Man. Okay, so in our update author, we're going to take in an ID, and then we're going to take the author, and then we're just going to return this dot http dot put to API / authors / the ID that we took in, and then the second thing is just going to be the author. Yep. Cool. So back in our update component, should be working again, and let's change his age to 80. Worked like a charm. Yeah, so if we want to make sure the validation is working, I just realized the way I did the validation on the back end was slightly different for update. So it wouldn't quite work the same. Authors controller. So if I did a find by ID and update, notice how errors was actually error here. I'm just going to change this. So let's assume that we can't even try to update somebody who doesn't exist. Something like that, right? Okay, so if I try to edit this, fair enough. Okay. I'm just going to stop the video because we've been going for a long time.